Thompson.
Oh, do turn on the lights, Bull. I know.
1 minute.
Oh, say it.
Oh, darn.
Hypocrite, that isn't what you were
Oh,
going
gosh,
to say.
then. There, let there be light.
Don't stand there posing, Bull. You look much more like a god of darkness than one of light.
Lucy? Oh, thank you, Donald.
Donald.
I don't care much for the Donald myself.
And I still claim, Mother, that Donald, alias Bull, resembles Pluto much more than any other divinity. It is true, judging from pictures that I have seen, that Pluto was not as fat nor as clumsy, but...
What have I done today? What have I done? Didn't I purchase candy and beautiful flowers? And now I reap nothing but abuse. I appeal to you, Mrs. Thompson. She is breaking me on the wheel.
You poor butterfly, you poor delicate, fragile
There
butterfly.
you go again. You see, Mrs. Thompson? Everyone's mind is turned to mockery.
Never mind, Donald. You ought to hear all the nice things she says about you
Mother.
behind your back.
Mother.
I find it hard to believe.
Mother is fibbing so as not to hurt your feelings. I never in all my life said a single good word about you.
Oh, Lucy.
You don't deserve it.
What a thing to say.
Oh, someone to see you, Bull.
Anything you want?
I want to see Townsend, Jack Townsend.
He's not here.
You know when he'll be in?
Any minute, but I'd advise you not to wait. He won't have any time for you tonight. If you want to leave a message, I'll give it to him.
Oh, he'll find some time for me, all right.
You think so? Suit yourself. You can wait for him outside. Pleasant little man.
Don't you know who it was?
Never saw him before. Probably some fresh townie who thinks Jack's indebted to him because he recovered a stolen baseball bat or something and wants to put the acid on him for $1 or $2. Jack's such a good-natured slob.
Listen who's talking.
Oh, Jack has always been so good-hearted.
Star players usually fall down when they're captains of teams, and it's the last year of college, but not of Jack. Only 3 hits off him.
This game we saw today decides the championship, doesn't it?
Well, certainly, Mother. You don't suppose I'd yell my whole voice away if it didn't, do you?
I
can hardly speak.
I hadn't noticed that at all, Lucy.
Oh, Mother, how unkind.
Well, I must confess, I am not much of a fan. That is what you call it. I do not understand the game, and if it wasn't for Jack playing, I'm afraid I would find it rather wearisome.
Jack is the big man of the college tonight, all right? The president is a mere non-entity beside him. Add to our list of athletic heroes, one Jack Townsend, captain and pitcher.
Oh, how they carried him around the field after the game today.
You bet we did. I had a hole in my leg. But I agree with you, Mrs. Townsend. If I didn't play, Jack I wouldn't take much interest in baseball myself. Football is the real game.
Oh, that's beyond me, too. I heard it's so rough, and so many players get injured. When John first entered college, his father and I made him promise not to get into it on any account.
You spoiled a fine player. Speaking of the angel.
Hail to the hero!
Where's your father?
Right outside talking to Professor Simmons. After dinner, as we were following you out of the inn, we ran into the prof and he walked down with us.
Did you think we were lost?
We thought you might have forestallen the forthcoming happy event by eloping.
With father as chaperone?
Well, don't you dare do it. I'd never forgive you spoiling my chance to wear my gown. I'm going to be just the most beautiful bridesmaid, am I not, Mother?
Of course, dear. Why didn't you ask the professor to come in?
I did, Mother, but he was on his way somewhere or other.
Oh, by the way, Jack, there was a townie in here asking to see you a few minutes ago.
A townie? Did he give any name?
No, a fresh little shrimp. Wasn't he wait outside?
I didn't see anyone.
He'll be back probably, and look out for a touch.
Oh, I hear them singing on the campus. I'm going out. Bull, when does the parade start?
Pretty soon you can hear the clans gathering now.
Oh, I'm going to march beside them all the way down to the lake.
The lake?
There's going to be a canoe carnival and bonfires and dancing and everything. Everybody's got to come in honor of Hero Jack.
Oh, come, sis. Praise from you is rare indeed.
Indeed.
I am going with you. I will show you that people I can celebrate with the rest of you.
Are you sure it isn't too much for you, Mother?
Nonsense, Jan.
Dear old Mother. Young mother, I should say.
Come on, everybody.
You people go on ahead and I'll catch up with you in a few.
Come on, Jumbo.
Jumbo and Bull, Lucy thinks I'm a menagerie.
We won't be alone again for ages.
Oh, Jack, dear, I'm so proud of you.
You'll give me an awful attack of exaggerated ego if you go on talking like that.
But it's true, dear.
Well, then for the good of my soul, don't tell me. Praise from sis is wonder enough for one day.
I wish I could tell you how proud I felt when I sat in the grandstands and watched you. It's a horrid sort of selfish pride, too, for I couldn't help saying to myself from time to time, he loves me. Me, he belongs to me. And I couldn't help saying to myself how jealous all the girls around me who were singing his praises would be if they knew.
Please, Evelyn, you make me feel so mean, contemptible when you talk like that.
Mean? Contemptible? How foolish you are, Jack, dear. I wanted to stand on my seat and shout to them, what right have you to think of him? He is mine, mine. Or will be in 3 months.
3 months. Do you know those 3 months are going to seem like 3 years?
3 centuries. But I was telling you how splendid you were this afternoon.
Shh, Evelyn.
You were so cool, so brave. It struck me as symbolical of the way to always play in the game of life. Fairly, squarely, strengthening others, refusing to weaken at critical moments, advancing others through sacrifices, fighting the cause for the team, and fighting the good fight for the cause, the team, and always, whether vanquish or victor, reserving a hearty, honest cheer for the other side. Oh, Jack, how I loved you so.
I won't listen any longer. I positively refuse.
Sorry, I'm through. I just simply had to tell you.
I shall love you in the future, Evelyn, with all my strength. And to become worthy of you. Today was nothing. One does one's best for the sake of the game, for the love of the struggle. Our best today happened to be luckier, more skillful perhaps than the other fellows. That's all.
It's so like you to say that. You're a dear.
Caught in the act. Evelyn, they're waiting for you outside. And Lucy threatens to come in here and drag you out if my persuasive powers have no effect. They want to make a start for the steps and watch the parade form. It's due to begin shortly.
I wouldn't miss it for worlds. Aren't you coming with us? Both of you?
We'll join you there. Or better still, the parade passes right by here, doesn't it? They always used to in the old days.
Yes, Dad.
Then you go ahead with the others, and since Lucy tells me you plan to follow the parade, we'll plan to join you when it passes by. I've seen and taken part in so many of these affairs over the years that the novelty's worn off from me. And Jack, if they were to discover the hero of the day at this stage of the game, he wouldn't have a rag to his back, eh, Jack?
I'm black and blue all over from their fond caresses this afternoon.
All right, I'm off. But surely you'll join us when we pass.
Sure thing.
Bye-bye.
Certainly lifts the burden of the years off my shoulders. Go back to the old college in the spring. Live the old days out in memory. Hobnob with some of the old timers who were young timers with me. It gets more difficult every year, I find. All the old landmarks are disappearing one by one.
Yes, even in my time there have been great changes.
It gives me a painful heartthrob every time I come back and look for some old place and find it renovated or torn down.
I can well understand that.
You don't realize what this place comes to mean to you in after years. How it becomes inseparably woven into the memories of one's lost youth, till the two become identical.
Yes, I suppose so.
Happiest days of my life. Of anyone's life.
Come to the point, Dad.
What?
You didn't send Evelyn away in order that you might wax reminiscent. You know that, Dad.
No, you're quite right. I did not. But what I have to speak about is such a deuced painful subject for both of us that I hardly dare speak of it, and especially on your day of triumph, when I should be the last one to bring up any unpleasantness.
Never mind that, Dad.
And you see, I didn't know when I'd have another opportunity of seeing you alone without arousing your mother's suspicions.
I understand.
The thing that's caused me so much worry. I simply had to hear from your own lips that everything was all right.
Let me set your mind at rest immediately. Everything is all right.
Oh, thank God for that. Why haven't you written to me?
Well, until a few days ago, there was nothing new to tell you.
When was the operation performed?
Last Monday.
And you've heard from her since?
I received a short note from her that night. It was all over and everything was all right, she said. She told me I shouldn't worry any longer.
That was 5 days ago. You haven't had any word since then?
No.
It's a favorable sign, I suppose. If any complications had cropped up, she surely would have let you know, wouldn't she?
Well, I think she would. I imagine she's frightened to death and wants nothing more to do with me. I'm sure I hope so, and you see, I never answered her letter or telephone.
You were wrong there, my boy.
I know it, Dad, but I just received a letter from Evelyn telling me she was coming out for commencement week in the game, and when I thought of her, the other affairs seemed horrible and loathsome. I swore I'd never speak or write again. When I was certain she was in no danger, I judged it best for the both of us to break off once and for all.
Listen, my boy, are you sure? You know how one's vanity blinds one in such cases. Are you sure, absolutely sure, that you are the father of this child that would have been born to her?
Yes, I'm certain of it. As certain as anyone could possibly be. I wish to God I had grounds of some suspicion of the sort. What a salve it'd be for my conscience. But no. No, to even think such would be an insult to a sweet girl, for she's a sweet, lovely girl in spite of everything, and if I had loved her in the least particle, and if I had not been in love with Evelyn, I should certainly have married her.
You do not love this girl, then why? Why in the first place?
Why? Why? Who knows why, or who that does know has the courage to confess it, even to himself? Be frank, Dad. Judging from several anecdotes that your friend, Professor Simmons, let slip about your 4 years here, you are no St. Anthony. Turn your mind back to those days and then answer your own question. Why in the first place?
We've retained a large portion of the original mud in our makeup. That's the only reason I can think of.
That's it? And do you suppose it was the same man who loved Evelyn who did this other thing? No. No, 1,000 times no. Such an idea is abhorrent. It was the male beast who ran gibbering through the forest after its female thousands of years ago.
Now, Jack, that's pure evasion. You're responsible for the Mr. Hyde in you as well as the Dr. Jekyll. Restraint.
Restraint? Oh, yes. Everybody preaches, but who practices it? And could they if they wanted to? Some impulses are stronger than we are, and have proved themselves so throughout the world's history. Is it not rather our ideals of conduct, of right and wrong, our ethics which are unnatural and monstrously distorted? Is society not suffering from a case of the evil eye which sees evil where there is none? Isn't our moral laws, which force me into evasion like the one you just found fault with?
You're delving too deep for me, my boy. Save your radical arguments for the younger generation. I cannot see them in the same light as you do. And if I could, I would. What I cannot understand is how you happened to get in with this young woman in the first place. You'll pardon me, Jack, but it seems to show a lack of judgment on your part. And good taste.
Such things usually are errors in taste.
This young woman was hardly of the class you're accustomed to associate with, I presume.
She's a working girl, a stenographer.
Has she any members of her immediate family who are likely to discover the unfortunate termination of your love affair?
Her father's dead, and her mother's a silly sort of woman who'd be the last to suspect anything. She has 2 sisters, both youngsters under the age of 10, and a brother, around 18, a machinist or something of the sort, who's only home on the weekends.
And she and her brother support the other?
So I believe. Yes. Yes, Dad. I've played the scoundrel all the way through. I know that now. Why couldn't I have felt this way before? At the start, then this would have never have happened. But at the time, it seemed a pleasant game we were playing. Its serious aspects appeared remote and unreal. I never gave them a thought. I have paid for it since then. I want you to believe me. I've had my glance into the abyss, and loss of confidence and self-respect, and in bitter self-abasement I have paid. And I'm sure that the result of it will be to make me a better man. A man more worthy to be Evelyn's husband.
God grant us, my boy. And I want to thank you for the confidence you showed in your father in making this frank appeal to me when you got into this trouble. It shows you regard me not only as a father, but as a friend. And that is how I would have it.
You've always urged me to come to you and to be frank about everything. I always have, and I always will. I had to have the money, and I thought I owed it to you to be open and above board and not start deceiving you at this late day. And I couldn't get any other way very well. $200 is quite a sum for a college student to raise at a moment's notice.
The wages of sin are rather exorbitant.
He was the only doctor I could find who would do that sort of thing. He knew I was a college student and probably made inquiries into your financial rating, and there you have it. There was nothing for me to do but to grin and pay. But as I said in my letter, this money's a loan. It'd be unfair for me to make you shoulder my mistakes.
Let's forget all about it. All's well that ends well. You've learned from your mistakes. And now, shall we join the others? I want to follow the band and get singed by the Roman candles.
Yes, let's do that.
Looky here, Townsend, I gotta see you for a minute.
All right, Murray. You go on, Dad. I'll catch up with you in a few minutes. Come in, Murray, and have a seat. Well, anything you want to say to me?
Anything I want to say to you?
Well, yes, I'm in rather of a hurry, and if it's nothing too important, I'd just be as well pleased if you'd come back some other time.
Important? Oh, you may think so. It's not important to you. Yeah.
Look, Murray, you've come here looking for trouble. You better wait till you've cooled off. What is it you want to say to me? Out with it.
All out with it, damn ya. Standing there so cool, dressed in swell clothes, and all these other girls, and Nellie. Nellie.
Yes? Nellie?
She's dead. And you killed her. You dirty murderer!
Ted? You don't mean that. She wrote to me that everything was all right. Dead?
She's dead. Nellie, my sister, she's dead.
No. It's impossible. It's a lie. What scheme of this is yours? You're trying to frighten me.
She's dead, I tell you. She died this morning.
She died this morning. Why didn't she? I didn't know. God.
Why didn't she let you know, you mean? She wrote to you. She told me she did. You knew she was sick, and you never answered it. She might have lived if she thought you cared, if she heard from you. But no, she knew you were trying to get rid of her.
Stop, for God's sake. I knew I should have written. I meant to write.
She kept saying, I want to die. I don't want to live. Oh, but I'll fix it. I'll make you pay.
What do you mean?
Don't give me any of that. You know what I mean. You know how she died. You know who killed her.
How she died? Who killed her? I don't understand.
You lie! She was murdered and you know it!
Murdered?
Yes, and you murdered her.
I? What? I'm murdered? Are you crazy?
You and that dirty skunk of a doctor. You thought you were safe, weren't you? With me away from home? You could go out and pitch the championship game, and she's lying dead. You could ruin her and throw her down. No one would say a word because you're a swell college guy and captain of the team. And she's not good enough for you to marry. She was gonna have a kid. Your kid. But since you're too rotten to act like a man, you send her to a fake of a doctor to be killed. And she does what you say because she loves you. And you won't even answer her letter when she's dying on account of you.
told you all this?
Not a word. She died game. She ain't no coward. I tried every way I know to get her to speak, but not a word out of her against you. And you dirty coward, playing ball.
I only did what I thought was best for her.
You snuck out like a coward because she wasn't good enough for you. You think you can get away with that stuff, don't you? Then marry some girl of your own kind, I suppose. Some girl I see you come in with tonight. But you won't. Not if I have to go to hell for it. I've always hated you. Since you're first coming in the house, I've always hated your kind. You come down here from college and think you can do with us as you please with us townsfolk. You treat us like servants. And what are you, I'd like to know? Bunch of lazy, no-good dudes sponging off your old men. And the Goyles, Goyles think you're grand. I knew something like this would happen. I told Nellie to look out. She laughed at me. When the old lady sent for me, and I came and saw Nellie, she wouldn't leave me for a doctor. I'd hunch something was wrong. She wouldn't say nothing, but I got our doctor, not the one you sent her to. And he told me what I thought, and that she was gonna die. But I seen in that moment I would have killed you. I knew it was you, but I couldn't prove it. But then one of the kids got scared and told me Nellie sent her to your doctor for medicine when she first took sick. I bought a gun, and the kid showed me where the doctor was. I shoved the gun in his face, and he told me all about you. He offered me lots of money to keep my mouth shut. The money you offered to him. Blood money. And I keep my mouth shut. Maybe.
Listen, Murray. This affair is unspeakably horrible, and I am everything. I'm everything you say I am. But I won't. You must believe me. I honestly thought I was acting for the best in having this operation performed. It turned out so tragically. It's terrible. You cannot realize how much I'm suffering. And I feel as I am what you called me, a murderer. It's horrible. Horrible. The thought of it would torture me all my life.
That doesn't bring her back. You're too late.
Too late? What do you mean? You haven't told anyone. You haven't...
When I left his office and I went home, Nellie was dead. Then I come here looking for you. I wanted to kill you. But I've been thinking, you're not worth getting hung for. I can think of a better way of getting you. One that'll get you right.
You haven't told anyone?
What's the difference? There's plenty of time, I know.
Murray, for your own sake, for your dead sister's good name, for your family's sake, you must keep this quiet. I do not plead for myself. I'll have you punish me individually in any way you see fit. But there are others. Innocent ones who will suffer.
She was innocent too. For you.
My father, my mother, my sister, Ed. This would kill my mother if she knew. They are innocent. Do not revenge yourself on them.
You killed my sister.
Why do you keep saying that? You know it was an accident. That I would gladly have given my own life rather than to have it happen. But you must keep silent. I'll do anything you want, I tell you. You say the doctor gave you money? I'll give you 10 times as much as he gave. I'll see that you get so much for the rest of the year. My father's rich. We'll get you a good position. Do anything you want. Just do not punish the innocent.
You want to pay me Vanelli?
Here. Take it. I was a fool to have stopped you. This thing ends with me. Leave the innocent.